What's up, legends? Welcome back to the channel. Recently I rode the Munda Biddi trail here in Western Australia. It's a 1,000 kilometer mountain biking trail that runs from Perth to Albany. It took me 8 days and it was absolutely epic. It was also super challenging, but I had a great time, and I recently posted a 2-part series here on YouTube that followed the entire adventure, so make sure you check that out before you watch this video. I did have a lot of questions asking about my gear, my bike, my sleep setup, my storage systems. So in this video, I'm going to go over my entire gear list, give you some things that I learnt, maybe some changes that I would make, and just share my entire setup with you. In the description below, there is a link to my lighter pack gear list that will have all the relevant links for each item, as well as the weight of everything I use. So you can go check that out if you're interested. Maybe you're looking to ride the Munda Biddi yourself. This was my first long distance ride, so a lot of the gear that I used was my first experience using it. So I have a lot of insight, I think, that I can share as a first timer. My base weight ended up being about 6 kilograms, which I don't know if that's super light or heavy, but it worked for me and I was able to fit everything I needed in that weight range. I'm super grateful to have worked with Pushies Online for this ride. They supplied my bike and a lot of the gear that I use, as well as giving me some invaluable advice as a first time bike packer. So make sure to go check out pushies.com.au if you guys are interested in stocking up for your next mountain biking, bike packing, cycling adventure. They've got an epic range of gear and a great team behind it. So make sure to have a look. And let's get into the gear list. So first up, we'll go over my bike. So I was running the Rocky Mountain Element Carbon 50, which is a cross-country bike, and it's an absolute beast. Once again, I'm pretty new to biking, so I'm not going to go over every single specification of the bike because I don't even know what half of them mean. But it was a dual locking suspension. I ran tubeless tires and it handled the terrain of the Munda Biddi pretty damn well. We had some brutal weather. We had mud and flooded trails. We had hills and rocks, and the Element just killed it all. So once again, that'll be linked below. Check it out if you want to look at more of the details of the bike that I used. But we'll move on to my storage system. I used the Aero bike rack system. So I had the rear rack and the front rack, the spider cradles, and then mounted on both of those racks were 12 litre dry bags, also from Aero. This setup was super easy to install. I had no issues with that at all, which was really nice. And the 12 litre dry bags, the 2 of them fit everything that I had, no problems at all, while also keeping it waterproof and safe from the elements. And we definitely had plenty of rain on our trip, so I was really happy with the Aero bike packing solutions. I also was rocking a vest. I had a Camelback Circuit hydration vest with a 1.5 litre Camelback bladder, and I rocked a water bottle mounted to the bike as well. So that was basically all my hydration taken care of. The vest also housed some bike tools, my phone at times, some snacks, and a few other things. So between the 2 12 litre dry bags and the vest, that was pretty much all I needed as far as storage went, and honestly I wouldn't change it. I was pretty stoked with the setup I had. Next we'll get into my sleep setup, which was really simple. We didn't bring a tent on the ride, so I was just rocking a sleeping bag and a sleeping pad, and they were stored in one of those 12 litre dry bags. My sleeping bag was the Cedar Summit Trek, and my sleeping pad was a Thermarest Neo Air Topo Luxe. I use both of these when I'm backpacking, when I'm multi-day hiking, and they worked just as well bike packing. Relatively lightweight, just warm enough for some of the cold temperatures of Western Australia's southwest. So obviously on a multi-day ride like this, you need a way to cook food, and so I've got a section on my lighter pack called Kitchen, and I had a really simple cooking setup. We basically brought dehydrated meals, so all you need to do is boil water to cook. So I had a stove and pot. I had the Jetboil Stash cooking system. Super lightweight, super quick to boil water. Once again, I hike with this setup, and so it was perfect to just store in one of those dry bags, and wherever we stopped at camp, I'd have a super quick to set up, super fast to boil cooking setup. With that, I had a lighter, had a spork, and obviously carried gas for the Jetboil Stash. The pot that comes with the Stash cooking system was the pot I used to boil water to have my coffee in, to cook my meals in. Yeah, I didn't need 1,000 different pots and bowls or utensils. I just went super simple and it did the job fine. All right, I'll move on to my camera / tech category for the Munda Biddi. My main camera was my GoPro, which I had mounted on my helmet. So I used a GoPro Hero 10, and I also filmed a lot with my my iPhone 12. So those were basically my camera setup. I had a bunch of GoPro mounts as well. I also brought a 20,000 milliamp battery pack, which is quite hefty, but when you have a GoPro, when you have a headlamp, you have a watch and a phone, they need to be charged. So I had a big battery pack as well as a bunch of cables to make sure everything was topped up for the full 8 days that we were riding for. Also in the tech category, I had my watch, Garmin Forerunner 945, and also I had a headlamp, which I was rocking a black diamond rechargeable one, which was really good, and a Bontrager bike torch as well. So we did a bit of night riding, and having either the headlamp or the bike torch on was perfect. Not to mention when you're at camp at night, it's nice to have some light. Moving on to toiletries, pretty simple. I brought a toothbrush and toothpaste. I know a lot of people like to bring sanitizing wipes or soap or maybe hand sanitizer. I'm perfectly okay being filthy on these kind of adventures. In fact, I relish it. I love the adventure. I love being dirty, and I bring a toothbrush and toothpaste because it weighs nothing. But other than that, I don't really worry too much about hygiene. Luckily on the Munda Biddi, we had a couple showers throughout, so that helped a bit. But other than that, I don't waste too much weight on the toiletry side of things. And then as a couple of extras, I had my first aid kit. So just some basics in there, some painkillers, some bandages, some KN tape. It only weighed about 300 grams in case anything went wrong. I always carry a debit card in cash with me, and then I had the bike repair kit, which for me is something new. A lot of this stuff I've carried before while hiking, but when you're riding a mechanical thing, yeah, things can go wrong. And if you've watched the videos, you'll know that things did go wrong. And even though I had this repair kit and a bunch of bike tools, we didn't actually have the right tool to fix my bike when the issues arose. So that was kind of ironic. In the repair kit, I had a spare bike tube, spare bike chain, Allen keys, a puncture kit, and that ended up being about ½ kilo. So yeah, we would have been grateful to have it if something went wrong that we could have replaced, like a tube or a chain. Luckily, we didn't have any issues in that regard. Okay, I'll move on to the last section, which is my clothing. Most of this isn't counted in my base weight because I was wearing it the whole time. Most of my apparel was supplied by Pushies and was 100% gear, which I was stoked with. So I rocked the 100% Outtech helmet, which was perfect. Luckily, I didn't need it, even though I did kind of fall off the bike a few times. No head knocks, which was great. The Outtech helmet has this fidlock locking system for this strap around your chin, which is really convenient. I've never had a helmet like that before, probably because I've never had a bike before, but I didn't even know it existed, so I was stoked with that. And then my shirt, my shorts, my gloves, my short liner, and also my socks were all from 100% as well. If you want to know the exact pieces of apparel that I wore, check out that lighter pack link in the description, but I was super happy with it all. I was rocking Adidas Trail Cross mountain biking shoes, also from Pushies, had a rain jacket from Marmot, and I always love my neck warmers, so I had a Mons Royale neck warmer as well. And then as far as spare clothes, like I said before, hygiene's not my top priority on these kind of treks, so not many spare clothes, but I did bring a set of clothes to sleep in. So I had a thermal top, merino wool. I have my compression tights from 2XU that I wear as well at night to provide some compression and recovery. One pair of spare socks and a couple spare buffs and a beanie as well for night. So that's all the spare clothes I had. And yeah, that's basically everything that I brought. Super simple setup. Like I said, I don't really go for any luxuries when I'm doing these bike packing or backpacking adventures. I like to travel light. I like to travel fast. And so that was my setup. My base weight ended up being just a little over 6 kilograms. My total weight about 9 kilograms, including my wearables and consumables. And then you add a bit for water and food. And overall, it was a pretty manageable load that I was really happy with. Thanks so much for tuning in to this video, guys. I'll be doing plenty more in this new studio. Hopefully bringing some value and some tips and tricks to you guys over the next few months. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed to catch all future videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.